To enter time on a project, you go to Appointment Manager. It'll default in your name and your resource code up here on the top left. And this is a weekly timesheet view. It'll show you the week that you're on right here. To activate a new timesheet row, you go under New and you click on this icon, and that'll activate this row so you'll be able to enter in some time. First option is to choose from this drop down. You choose the customer that we're going to be doing the work on. For this example, we're working on clean energy. Then you choose the project number that you're working on. It'll default in the task to labor. And the service code. Everybody has a non-chargeable service code. You won't be doing that here. You would be picking the service code that you're working as on this job, on this project. I'm going to be a technician. And then you pick the day that you're doing the work. Click that box, and then you click this Open Details box. And the start time will default to 8 a.m. So if that's the correct time, you leave that there. If not, you could change it. Let's say it's 9 a.m. you started your travel. So then you put in your travel 2 hours. If we do 30 minutes, you'll see that the end time starts calculating by itself for you. And then the hours are the labor hours that you actually worked on the site. Say we did 4 hours. And travel from, you would enter time in here if you're traveling from the job to your home or job back to the shop, if it's like your last entry for the day. And then cost code is required, or project management cost code. And these boxes, if they do not pertain to you, just leave them blank. The travel to direction, this corresponds to the travel to time that you put in here. You have to choose which way you were going. Let's say we were going from home to the shop. And travel from direction. If you had time in here, you have to choose the corresponding option in here. The options in here that you would be choosing would be like job to home or shop to home. So a description of what you were doing on the job. This description does go to the invoice, so please try to spell correctly and be accurate and give good descriptions. When you're done with that, there's space here if you want to put more notes, but that's not a required field. So you hit save, and you'll see that it is in red. You have to click the save data up here to move it up to this appointments menu option up here, and it'll turn green and it'll be officially saved. So let's go through that one more time. Enter time on a project. You click on this icon here. You choose the customer. Choose your project number. Choose your service code. You pick the day that you're working on. And you want to leave a gap for your lunch. You do not enter in your lunch in the system. You leave a gap for your lunch. So on that last entry that we did on this day, we came back to work at 12:30. So our start time would be, let's say, 1:30, and this is military time. So it would be 13:30. Let's say our hours worked were 4 hours. And we'll have travel from 1 hour. So since we have nothing in travel to, we do not have to choose that. Travel from, let's say we were going from job to home, and cost code is required. And the description again. And you select save. Again, you'll see that it's in red. You have to choose the save data up here. It'll move up, it'll be green, and you see you got 2 entries for the day there. And now to add expenses to the project, you would choose right here where it's green, you click that and you choose new expense. To add an expense to the project, you cannot do it from under here, under new. It has to be under the appointments, a timesheet entry from here. You do that and you choose new expense. It'll open the expense form. It'll default in the date that you put the time on, but you could change that if necessary. I'm going to leave that there. And then the item number that you choose, most likely is a company Visa, or it could be a miscellaneous expense. I'll choose company Visa for this example. And you could override that. Just say about something at Home Depot. And you got to choose your cost code. And you got to put in how much it cost you. And you can put notes, additional notes with this description to describe what you bought. And you select save in the top right here. And then we go back to our appointment manager. And if we click on expense entries, we'll see that our one expense is there that we entered on this project. If we go back to time entry here, this is all our time. So that's how you add the expense to the project. Now what about at the attachments? You have to go to the project itself. So you have to go to the projects menu, and you can filter for project that had number 32 at the end of it. These are all filter boxes, search boxes here. So I'm going to click into number 32, and I'm going to go to the attachments tab. And this is where we add attachments. You see that there's already some attachments on this job. If you have one attachment, a single receipt or a single picture to do, you click on this new. If you have multiple, you click on the multiple. And you select this select files. And you go to the spot on your computer where the documents or the pictures or the receipts are, whatever you're going to be uploading. I selected multiple, and I'm able to give them a new title or subject or keywords. I could fill those in, and then the type that they are, if they're photos or if they're documents or if they're receipts. Let's say these are our receipts. We click save, and those have been added to the project. And by choosing that type, it'll filter it by documents if you want to see the receipts on the project, and if you want to see the photos on the project. And if you want to see everything, it'll be under the All Records tab. And that's how we add the attachment to the project.